Here's the shocking truth. Your brain skips recording routine moments entirely. It's an efficiency mechanism that creates what's called time blindness. That feeling where years vanish while you're not looking. The average adult life isn't lived intentionally. It's lived on autopilot. You have breakfast, commute, work, watch Netflix, and suddenly 5 years have passed in a blur. Your brain treats these repetitive days as just another normal day and doesn't bother creating distinct memories. This isn't a character flaw, it's neuroscience. But today, you'll learn the 3 levers to reclaim control and fundamentally expand your sense of time. We're going to break the cycle where days blur into years. Lever 1, the novelty tax. Why does routine make time disappear? Your brain measures time by recording new experiences. When you're a child, everything is new. Your brain is constantly creating detailed memories, which is why summer felt endless. As an adult, your brain goes into efficiency mode. The same breakfast, the same commute, the same route home. Your brain literally skips the recording process. It's not laziness. It's a survival mechanism to conserve energy. But in our modern world, this mechanism backfires. It keeps you stuck in your comfort zone, and your life becomes a montage you barely remember. The counterintuitive solution is to intentionally inject discomfort. You need to pay what I call the novelty tax. This means making a small, deliberate change to your normal routine. It forces your brain to pay attention and start recording again. Think of it like this. Your brain is a camera set on burst mode for routine, but novelty forces it to take a single, high-resolution photograph. That's how you create a memory that stands out. Practical applications are simpler than you think. Take a different route to work tomorrow. Even a 1-block detour counts. Learn a new skill every month. It doesn't have to be monumental. Try a new recipe. Learn 5 words in a new language, or pick up a hobby you know nothing about. Have a conversation with a stranger in line at the coffee shop. These are tiny acts of novelty that carry a massive return on investment. Here's how it works in your brain. Novelty triggers the release of dopamine and norepinephrine. These chemicals act as a save signal for your brain. They tell your hippocampus, this is important. Write this down. When you do the same thing every day, no save signal is sent. The day gets filed away as generic data. But when you introduce novelty, you force a save. You create a timestamp. This is the mechanism that breaks the cycle of time blindness. The result is profound. Instead of a year feeling like one long blurry day, it becomes a collection of distinct moments. You remember the Tuesday you took the scenic route and saw a new mural. You remember the Thursday you tried to make pad thai and failed spectacularly. These moments act as anchors in your timeline. They stop the blur. They break the autopilot. But here's the catch that most people miss. Novelty requires energy. You can't pay the novelty tax if you're running on empty, which leads directly to the second lever, the one that makes the first one possible. Lever 2, energy management. Over time. Management. Time management is useless without energy management. This is the biggest mistake. You can have the most perfectly organized calendar in the world, but if you're exhausted, you'll just be efficiently miserable. You'll schedule your novel activities and then cancel them because you're too tired. Time management fails when you're running on empty because willpower is a finite resource. It's like a muscle, and it gets tired. The solution is to shift from managing minutes to managing your capacity. This starts with an energy audit. You need to identify what I call your energy vampires versus your energy multipliers. An energy vampire is any activity or relationship that drains you disproportionately. Scrolling social media for 20 minutes and feeling drained. That's a vampire. A tedious meeting that leaves you exhausted. Vampire. Your energy multipliers are the opposite. A 15-minute walk that leaves you refreshed? Multiplier. A deep conversation with a good friend? Multiplier. Most people never do this audit. They just accept the drain as normal. Now, let's talk about the biggest energy multiplier you're probably neglecting: sleep. Sleep isn't optional rest, it's your brain's non negotiable superpower. Without quality sleep, your ability to make good decisions is as bad as if you were legally drunk. That promotion you want, that novel skill you want to learn, that intentional life you want to build, they all depend on your brain working at its best. Sleep is the foundation. It's not the thing you sacrifice for productivity. It's the thing that makes productivity possible. Then there's decision fatigue. Every single choice you make, what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which task to start first, drains a tiny bit of your mental energy. By the time you get to the important decisions, the ones that shape your life, you're running on fumes. This is why successful people often wear the same thing and eat the same breakfast. They're not boring, they're smart. They're automating the trivial to preserve energy for the meaningful. This leads to a powerful concept: strategic incompetence. This is being deliberately, strategically bad at tasks that are non essential to your goals. If you're terrible at folding laundry, maybe your family stops asking you to do it. If you're awful at planning office parties, you won't be put on the committee. This isn't about being lazy. It's about protecting your energy for what you do best. It's about creating space for the novelty and intentionality we just discussed. The ultimate goal is to design your environment to make good choices automatic. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow. If you want to eat healthier, don't buy junk food. If you want to have energy for novel experiences, stop draining your battery on energy vampires. Your environment should do the heavy lifting, not your willpower. But with novelty breaking the autopilot and energy enabling the action, you still need one more thing. You need a compass. You need to know if you're moving in the right direction, because activity without intention is just noise. Lever 3, designing your life scorecard. That compass is your life scorecard. Most people measure their lives using society's default metrics: money, status, possessions. But these are terrible proxies for a life well lived. They're what other people see, not what you actually experience. The first step to reclaiming your time is to design your own metrics. You need to ask a brutal but essential question: what will actually matter when you're looking back? This is the deathbed test. Imagine yourself at the end of your life. Will you care about that extra hour at the office or the hour you spent playing with your kids? Will you remember the size of your bank account or the depth of your relationships? Suddenly, priorities become painfully clear. The problem is, we delay this thinking until it's too late. We operate on a default scorecard that values accumulation over experience. This requires a shift to second-order thinking. First-order thinking is about immediate consequences. I should finish this report. Second-order thinking asks, what are the consequences of those consequences? Finishing the report means I miss my daughter's recital. Missing the recital damages our connection. That damaged connection might mean she doesn't confide in me later. Second-order thinking reveals the true cost of your daily choices. It forces you to see the ripple effects. To implement this, use the two-list strategy for ruthless priority management. Write down everything you feel you need to achieve right now. Your entire to-do list, your goals, your obligations. Now, circle the top 3 items. Just 3. Everything else on that list becomes your avoid at all costs list. Those are the distractions masquerading as priorities. They're the energy vampires dressed up as important work. This strategy forces you to acknowledge that you can't do everything. Trying to is the fastest way to ensure you do nothing that truly matters. You need regular life reviews to catch problems while they're still small. Most people only do this during a crisis. A monthly review, even just 15 minutes, acts as a course correction. Ask yourself, am I spending my time on my top 3? Are my energy levels supporting my goals? Did I pay the novelty tax this month? This isn't about self-criticism. It's about systems adjustment. It's like checking your car's oil. You do it proactively to avoid a breakdown. And sometimes, the most powerful action is strategic quitting. We're taught that quitting is failure. But strategic quitting is making space for better opportunities. It's recognizing that a goal, a habit, or even a relationship no longer serves the life you're trying to design. Quitting something that drains you is an act of self-respect. It's declaring that your time and energy are too valuable to waste on things that don't align with your scorecard. It's how you stop the autopilot from driving you down a dead-end road. These 3 levers work as an integrated system. Novelty breaks the autopilot by forcing your brain to record moments. Energy management gives you the fuel to pursue that novelty and make intentional choices. And your life scorecard ensures that all that activity is moving you toward a life you'll actually want to look back on. It's the cycle of intentional living. Reclaiming your days. Conclusion. Now you have the 3 levers. Let's quickly review how they work together to change your life. So here's the quick recap. Novelty breaks the autopilot. Energy enables the action, and intentional metrics guide the direction. The ultimate goal is simple but profound. Making your hours count, not just counting your hours. It's about transforming your life from a blurry montage into a series of vivid, chosen moments. Your brain will always try to steal your life through efficiency. That's its job. Your job is to be the conscious pilot who occasionally takes back the controls. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. That's a recipe for burnout. Start with one small experiment from today's video. Maybe it's taking a different walk tomorrow. Maybe it's doing a 5-minute energy audit. Maybe it's writing down your top 3 priorities for the week. The system only works if you test it. Pick one lever, apply it in a tiny way, and see what changes. Your life is built in the small, consistent adjustments, not the grand, dramatic gestures. Think of it like a tiny rudder steering a massive ship. Small inputs create big, directional changes over time. Don't try to quit your job tomorrow. Just try changing one thing for 5 minutes today. That small win builds momentum for bigger changes.